Chapter 2: Emotional Awareness and Intelligence. Recognizing and naming your emotions. Self-awareness isn't just about knowing who you are, what you think, or what you believe. It's also, and often most importantly, about what you feel. And ironically, this emotional layer tends to be the least understood, the least expressed, yet the most powerful. Emotions are the language of the body speaking to the mind. And if we don't learn how to listen, we simply can't fully understand ourselves. You feel more than you think. I remember a time when I was living on autopilot. I was working, talking, achieving goals, but something felt off. I was emotionally cut off. Only when I began to honestly ask myself, what am I feeling right now? Things started to change. Here's the truth. Emotions don't disappear when ignored. They just go underground, into your body, into your behavior, into your decisions. And from the shadows, they begin to run your life. Why we struggle to name what we feel. Most of us were never taught emotional literacy. We learned formulas, facts, and poems, but not how to identify. This is anger. This is disappointment. This is anxiety, not laziness. So we grow up with a 3-color emotional palette: good, bad, fine. Meanwhile, inside us rages a full-blown symphony we don't have the words for. The emotional map: learn to see and name. One of the first things I encourage everyone to do: create your emotional map. It's like a personal inner dictionary. Because once you can name it, you can begin to manage it. When an emotion is unnamed, it owns you. When it's identified, you gain ground. Practice your emotional check-in. Every morning and evening, answer 2 simple questions. 1, what am I feeling right now? 2, what situation triggered this feeling? Be specific. Instead of bad, write disappointment. Instead of good, write inspired, grateful, or calm. Why it matters: when you don't recognize your emotions, you make impulsive decisions. You misplace anger onto innocent people. You feel off, but don't know why or how to fix it. Emotions are signals, not enemies. They're not trying to hurt you, they're trying to be heard. The paradox of strength. The bravest are those who face their vulnerability. Many believe that acknowledging emotions is weakness. I've come to realize the opposite is true. Real strength is the courage to feel, to not run, to not suppress, to look your emotions in the eye and say, yes, I'm feeling sad right now, and that's okay, but I know what I need to do next. To recognize is to diffuse. A mentor once told me, an emotion that is named is halfway released. And he was right. When you can say, this is anger, you stop being the victim of the explosion and become the observer who realizes something important was violated. From that place, you can act with intention. The next step: emotional regulation. Now that you've learned to see clearly, it's time to lead consciously, not by suppressing or fighting your emotions, but by learning how to transform them. Managing emotional reactions and mood. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's not just a feel-good phrase for social media. It's a principle I've lived by, and it's been my armor in moments when everything felt like it was falling apart. In the previous section, we explored how to recognize your emotions. Now comes the most vital part: learning to manage them, because right there, at the edge of reaction, is where your true identity is revealed, and where it's shaped. Reaction is a choice, but only for the aware. In most situations, there's little to no gap between the trigger and the response. Something goes wrong, and you snap. Someone hits a nerve, and you shut down. Your morning derails, and the whole day feels ruined. That's what happens when emotion takes the wheel. It drives us instead of us driving it. But the moment there's a pause, there's freedom. The freedom to say, I'm not letting this take over my state. I choose differently. How to pause when you're boiling inside. This isn't about suppression, it's about recalibration. It took me years and a lot of failure to internalize a simple formula. 1, notice the reaction. Pause for a few seconds. Acknowledge what's showing up. This is anger. This is hurt. Name it out loud or in your mind. 2, feel without reacting yet. Take a deep breath, then another. That's not weakness. That's strength in motion. 3, choose your response. Ask yourself, what will bring me closer to the outcome I actually want? An emotional explosion or a calm response? Key insight: you are not your reaction. You are the one who can transform it. Mood isn't the weather. It's a system you can design. We often say, I'm in a bad mood. But the truth is, Mood is the product of small choices made throughout the day. Instead of waiting for it to change, ask, what can I do to uplift it? My go-to emotional reset list. Physical movement, even 5 minutes helps. Music I love. Being in nature. Gratitude. Write down 3 things I'm thankful for. Deep breathing. Talking to someone who inspires me. These are simple tools, but combined, they can reboot your emotional state. Negative emotions aren't enemies, they're messengers. I've learned, when I'm angry, it's not just anger. It's about a boundary being crossed. When I'm sad, it's often about losing something meaningful. When I'm anxious, it's my mind saying, prepare, stay safe. If you listen, emotions teach. If you run, they chase. Emotional mastery isn't suppression, it's transformation. To manage emotions doesn't mean to erase them. It means to face them, to understand them, to feel them fully, and then choose what they become. Rebooting yourself doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means elevating the quality of how you experience emotions. You're not becoming a robot. You don't have to, but you can maintain inner balance, even in chaos. That's what real self-mastery looks like. Not rigid control, but wise leadership from within. And that's what opens the door to the next level, to deeper relationships, to greater purpose, to becoming a stable source of strength in a world that never stops shifting. Self-empathy, accepting your emotions without judgment. There was a time when I believed strength meant emotional steel, not crying, pushing through the pain, always moving forward, and so I did. But the more I rejected parts of myself, the deeper I sank. Because true strength doesn't come from shutting down your feelings, it comes from being honest with yourself and gentle at the same time. Self-empathy isn't weakness, it's the foundation of inner freedom. We often speak about empathy for others, compassion, support, understanding, but we forget that the first person who needs our kindness is ourselves. How often do you shame yourself for feeling? Why am I crying again? I lost it. I'm such a mess. I can't afford to be tired. I need to pull myself together. These aren't just random thoughts. They're the voice of the inner critic, and it holds power until we meet it with empathy. So what is self-empathy really? It's when you can tell yourself, I'm angry, and that's okay. I feel scared, and that makes sense. I'm in pain, and I'm not alone in this. It's not an excuse, it's acknowledgement, because the emotions we fight will always fight us back. Be your inner ally, not your inner judge. There's a voice inside you. It can lift you up or break you down. I began asking myself, if my best friend were going through this, what would I say to them? Chances are you'd speak with kindness, with warmth, without blame. So why do we speak to ourselves in ways we'd never speak to someone we love? It's time to rewrite the script. You deserve support, not just when everything's fine, but especially when things feel hard. Acceptance is the gateway to transformation. You can't change what you refuse to acknowledge. Empathy is not the end of growth. It's the starting point. Because when you tell yourself, I'm still worthy even when I'm not okay, you give yourself permission to heal. And that's when the real reboot begins. How to develop self-empathy? Here are 3 simple yet powerful practices that changed my life. 1. Daily emotional check-in. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? No judgment, just name the emotion. 2. Compassionate journaling. Write a letter to yourself as if you were your own best friend. It's surprisingly healing. 3. Inner reassurance dialogue. When anxiety shows up, try saying, I see you. I'm here. We'll get through this together. Rebooting begins with acceptance. You don't need to be perfect to be valuable. You don't need to fix yourself to deserve love. Self-empathy is love in action, and it's what creates the inner space for change, not through force, but through deep respect for the truth of who you are.